It's great to be in the Empire today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Guys, I met a guy who is a streamer as well, a content creator, and I think he's in the military. He seems like a pretty cool guy, and I wanted to make a video with him. So, Arnold, how are you today, man? Thank you so much for joining me.
Zareth, it's been an absolute pleasure. We've been chatting all week and all things Star Wars and life. And today we got a lot to talk about that I think people want answers for. And I think you might be the guy to lead the charge in this conversation.
Let's hope that works. First though, guys, please, I don't think he needs this really, but what we need to get him to whatever the next rank is from Grand Admiral. Please, if you haven't subbed Arnold yet, I'm gonna do it right now. He did it on his screen, on his video, and I'm doing it the same. So here we go. At another drop in the bucket for you, but
203 billion subs, man. Next one's 300 billion, right?
I guess so, man.
They gotta fix it. It says K for. I don't know why it says 203K. They gotta fix that.
Yeah, that's misleading. So I thought today we would talk about. So we got all these changes and stuff. We got and I figured we could talk a little bit about the Galactic Legends scene. I mean, not everyone has them. Obviously, not everyone has all of them, but there are some winners and some losers here. Some of these characters are in a significantly better place. Some of them are actually pretty sad right now, and I wanted to talk to you about, get your insights on which ones do you think are the winners and losers. So,
should we fire away? You want to start with Kenobi?
Let's start with Kenobi and work our way around. So, Kenobi is awesome.
Yeah, hands down. Even before the update, not sure where you stood before the update, but he was definitely, in my opinion, the best Galactic Legend overall. He killed it in Squad Arena, kills it in Grand Arena, kills it in the raids, GOTBs, and Commander Tano is just that cherry on top of the Sunday that he has here. I mean, the only downs, if we had to pick a downside here, the only place he's getting harmed is that General Anakin Skywalker nerf, because General Anakin Skywalker is one of the more prevalent characters used in his team. So yes, in some way, his team maybe lost a little bit of viability, but man, we're talking chump change. We're talking maybe couple sprinkles of salt. I mean, you don't technically even need General Anakin Skywalker for the lineup, but it's nice to have him. But that's really the only area where I saw. I think if anything, he got the most benefit out of this update. And keep in mind, this character didn't really have that many non-GL counters before this update came around, especially with Commander Ahsoka Tano, and this update just did a lot more favors for him. So I'm thinking he's definitely the one that's coming on top of the high ground after this update, I think.
I think so. I think he is. I mean, there is the fact that the Supreme Leader Kylo can just use a couple Night Sisters to get like basically perfect banners, but yeah, he's great. He just not that affected. What I really want to see is how Ki-Adi-Mundi can replace, if he can replace General Skywalker. I don't know if he can. I haven't tested it yet. I haven't seen tests, but that's a question mark that's burning in my mind. We gotta figure that out, because the General Skywalker seems like he's gonna want to be in the 501st anyways.
1000%. I mean, it's funny. We made our video together, I think, on Friday night, and some stuff happened over the weekend where it looks like a full 501st team can beat Rey. So my video is already a little bit outdated since we made it.
Yeah.
So it does seem like Gas is gonna gravitate back to the 501st, which isn't the end of the world. It's still a very important team to have in the game. Ki-Adi-Mundi will be interesting, because if you're still going to run Commander Ahsoka Tano, you aren't going to get all those Jedi Council bonuses through that unique ability of Cam, but still, he's got some armor shred. He's got some decent damage. He's got dazes and all that fun stuff. So I'm sure we're going to find uses out of him. I mean, even in Grand Arena, I don't know about you, we don't really see a lot of gases with Master Kenobi in Grand Arena anyways.
Yeah, you're right. We'll see. We'll just have to see how it goes. I think he is absolutely the winner. It'll be interesting to see how Lord Vader changes things as well. Of course, crispy leg Vader, as we like to call him. Yeah. But yeah, I think Kenobi's in a fine place.
Very good.
And I think it would be very surprising if they had just totally screwed him over. So let's go to the next in line here. We've got Rey. the all the Jedi character who does not have the Jedi tag. Instead, she's a Lasufu, the light side unaligned Force user, and she's intense. She's got 2 lightsabers on a relic thing. She's only holding one. I don't understand where the other one is. Maybe you can shed some light on that. And where you think she is in terms of the current Nerf situation?
Oh, well, she's very, I can tell you this. I personally talked to her this past week, and she's very happy that Vader's no longer the menace that he once was, and Thrawn as well. Getting that immunity to the fracture. Vader playing frisbee basically nowadays in his backyard with the son. I think she's happy in that regard. However, I think this recent discovery of the 501st beating a resistance raid team, and I've actually ran it against even non-resistance teams with like Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Skywalker, Jedi Knight Luke, and that still works as well with the full 501st team. I don't know about your take, but if a full 501st team can make it happen, this might be in some way Rey maybe got slightly worse depending on what you normally would throw up against Rey. Because I mean, the Vader counter, there was definitely a bit of an art. You need the right mods, you need the right turn order, you need the right characters. It was a lot going on. Where 501st is just go in, smash Finn, and then just take your time with the rest of it. So I think she's happy that Vader's not really a concern anymore. Jedi Knight and Skywalker, Luke aren't going to be as effective against her if you're using Jedi Knight Revan. But I think the fact that a standard 501st had nothing crazy going on, that might be a bit questionable. Do you think they might nerf that? I'm hoping they don't, but seeing the intention of this update, it kind of seems weird if they would let a full 501st team, pretty standard stuff, walk over a Galactic Legend.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with that. It makes me feel strange that they're going to do it at all. I mean, so right now it almost seems like she's been relegated to offense. And frankly, with the current situation, like there's not that many off-meta counters to these guys. A lot of these GLs are just going to stay on offense anyways, because if you don't have an off-meta way to take out Kenobi, then why would you place your own Kenobi? Like if you can't beat him, then, I mean, maybe you place Kenobi because you can beat him with another Galactic Legend, but Rey might be one of those characters, sadly, that's been relegated to offense only. I'm not sure. One thing I love about it, and I mentioned it a little bit in your video, but they changed her massive damage ability to be able to scale with how many relics she has.
Yeah.
Because she was starting to lose relevance. And that always, it scares me. It's like IPD used to just kill anyone. You're like, okay, we're gonna put Emperor Palpatine in there. He'll hit his minus health button.
Yep.
And probe droid kills the target. So you're like, okay, thank God we got that cleaned up. And now he scratches the target. He annoys the target. Sometimes the target doesn't even realize he's been self-destructed.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I can heal for that. I can heal. So, but now, so she was starting to get toward that point. But now with relic levels, I think she's going to actually end up stronger every time. And I don't know, her ult is still going to start losing a little bit relevance, but. That's okay. She's still, I think at 3v3, that ult is really going to shine. So
yeah, she's definitely a queen of 3v3, 1000%. I mean, yeah, that is a nice little change. I wasn't actually considering that she might need it, but there was definitely that differential, especially when you compare Rey to Kylo. Kylo, if you looked at his graph, he's got this exponential graph where throughout the course of the battle, his power is ramping up. Whereas Rey, she's kind of got a ceiling to an extent. I mean, it can teeter up a little bit, but it doesn't really scale nearly to the power of Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So getting some way to kind of get her to keep up with the times with new relics coming to the game, because when new relics come in, what does that mean? Other characters are getting more durable. They're getting more health, more all this other stuff, which makes it harder for these abilities to kill them off. So we saw that with Wrecker, IG-11. They can eat sudden whirlwinds. It's going to be a lot more difficult now that she can scale up that damage with her relics.
Yeah, I think she's in an interesting place. Honestly, I think that she's one of those characters I'm going to be targeting for offense quite a bit, because she is really versatile on offense.
Yeah,
and
she is.
If you could do a mirror match, if you can get the right comp and the right, you understand how to mod and do everything, it's a really consistently high banner win as well in GSC.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm one of those. I don't think I've used Rey on offense since she got released. I'm always just throwing her on defense. I'm a heavy GL person on defense. That's kind of my strategy. I mean, even today I put 4 GLs on defense and only kept 1 for offense. But I see her pros and cons with using her on offense, especially due to Hermit Yoda trick and whatnot, keeping her alive, putting her under, or putting everyone else under stealth, putting the R2 foresight on her. I think it's a character I definitely should be using on offense more, but I still find her uses on defense.
Yeah, that's fair. I in 3v3, I love her on offense for the
Yeah.
mirror. You get a 54 every
Mm-hmm.
time. So let's talk about Supreme Leader Kylo, the man with a million relic levels or whatever it's called.
And he's got
The
multiple
man who
helmets.
can.
You ever see him when he's on defense? He always has his helmet on. Then he's got a spare helmet. Man, that guy is always ready. I gotta say.
If he has multiple helmets, one might say he's overly prepared.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe he should be focusing on fixing his lightsaber or something, rather than he's like I got another helmet. These guys are like,
Just in case, he
"Yay."
should be on the prepared squad of Kira. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Kira's like, we have a place for you.
There you go. Oh, Kylo, I love this guy. I think I don't know where you are, but I consider him to be the second best overall Galactic Legend game. If you use the same lens, like I did with Master Kenobi, I look at the raids, the territory battles, the offensive, defensive aspects of a Grand Arena, and I think now especially defensively wise, I used to do Vader, Thrawn, Watt, Stormtrooper all the time against him. It's basically impossible now because you can't ignore defense in that blast take mod. So Vader counter out the window. He definitely he improved. I think he's one of those. I'm trying to think. He didn't really get worse. I mean, his AI got smarter. The 501st counter with the gas Chewie seems to be gone. The Captain Rex counter seems to be gone now. He seems to be a little bit smarter against Jedi Revan. He's still beatable by Jedi Knight Revan, but it doesn't seem as nice as it was before. And he's a very useful counter still up against Jedi Master Kenobi. I saw some of that Night Sister footage you did of Acolyte Zombie. Solid counter. So I think he's one that's pulling ahead. And I think he's gonna. You can tell me what you think, but I still think he's second best overall Galactic Legend game. And the best part is he doesn't need 4 Relic 8s, right?
Well, right. I mean, that's a huge part. I mean, he's. I think he'll always be relevant, frankly. Because,
yeah, especially the kit. His stats just ramp up throughout the course of a battle.
Right. Yeah, like he's just going to be relevant the whole time because you always have that mechanic, and he doesn't buff his squad super well. I mean, he does fine, but he doesn't care if they die either,
No, yeah.
which is problematic at times. But I think it's a win. These nerfs are a win for him, not only because he's decent in GAC, being able to take. He's pretty versatile and stuff. I think. I don't know. We'll have to see with Jedi Knight Luke's kind of decline. He's going to Kylo is just not as scared of that team anymore, of that counter, and so you can maybe start modding him differently. You can see in this if we go back to my Kylo modding, like it's not necessarily where I want it to be right now, but I've him offense modded because he doesn't need to be worried about that Jedi Luke counter.
Yeah.
You can mod him differently, and then you can spend those super fast mods somewhere else. So
yeah, there was a lot of weird modding going on at the Kylo Ren team. I don't know how you guys did it, but I know there was the strategy of having your first order officer 1 speed faster than Hux and all these other weird niche things. I've seen a lot of Phasma teams out there. Yeah, it seems like you can just go back to like a good all around mod set on Supreme Leader Kylo. I think he's trying to think. I mean, for him, from his perspective, he's liking this update. He's liking that all these characters aren't working well. I think the only caveat is you got to make sure you don't put like one of those weird Night Sister Supreme Leader Kylo teams on defense, because that's easy Imperial Trooper food for him to walk over. Other than that, if you stick to a traditional full first order team with Hux on there, it's looking pretty good. It's looking like you're going to need a Galactic Legend. But of course, we got to wait and see. Some stuff comes up that I don't even think CG intended to happen.
Right. Well, and there's always that. And I think that's we'll see. The speed set is probably the best way to do it right now. But new information may come.
Of course.
We'll find out. So yeah, he is in a good spot, and as you say, in the rest of the game, man, he is the king of like all the other game modes. He just kills all the things. The raid, he's still the only one who can consistently, really easily solo that raid. Unless you have Kenobi that setup. So, great character. Happy that his nemesis are kind of nerfed. So.
Yeah, very happy, I bet.
All right. Next up is Backpack Emperor.
Backpack Emperor, I like it.
Backpack Emperor. He's somehow creepier than usual, or than previously. Yeah, he's interesting. They changed him. They actually gave him kind of a buff, a
Yeah.
little bit at least, where if someone, what is it? Every time someone gains an undispellable buff, he gains him and all
Mm-hmm.
the Sith with him
Right.
gain turn meter.
Yeah, so I always had a controversial opinion of Sith. I was a huge fan of him offensively. Defensively, it's one of those I always kind of question, why are you putting this on defense unless you just know that your opponent is just not prepared for a Sith Eternal. But usually people had a good Vader, a good Imperial Trooper team ready. And there's a lot of, even General Grievous can sometimes pull off that weird Hail Mary shot on him. With Sith Eternal, I always consider him to be the best offensive galactic legend. If you give him that Wat Tambor and or the armor, he can basically take on pretty much any team that was in the game. So I feel like he's not getting shortchanged with this update. I feel like if anything, he's leaving ahead a little bit. But the only downside is that we still got to see what the exact math looks like. Is when Rey does the lifeblood. So the Eternal's getting a little bit of turn meter, and because of that buff, and as a result, Rey is getting a little bit of mastery, which might make the ultimate a little bit harder for him to eat up. Other than that, I feel like he's doing pretty well. Preliminary tests with Imperial Troopers show that they can still beat him if you put a garbage Sith team together. If Piet gets a good days, they're going to run him over. But once you start doing those nasty Sith Empire combos, it looks a lot trickier for the Imperial Troopers to walk over the invader. We don't even talk about it anymore. He's I don't even know what he's doing. I think he's cashing in for early retirement nowadays.
He's in the doghouse.
Yeah.
He's mailed it in. Getting put out to pasture.
Yeah.
And that's what the Emperor was trying to do anyways at the end of episode 6, right? He was,
Right. Yeah.
like in front of him, he's like, Luke, you should be my apprentice because this guy is just all the
he
out.
foresaw that this nerf was coming. This guy was going to be almost useless now. Oh gosh, don't open up that can of worms. My heart's still recovering. It took me 2 Coaling Blades to kill off Darth Revan in 3v3 today. Drove me crazy.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So the biggest question in my mind is how he's going to interact with Rey, because he and all the Sith who are with him are going to be gaining she's going to be putting Lifeblood out, which is one of the undispellable buffs that give him turn meter. So him, and if he's with 4 other Sith, he is, so they're all every time they gain turn meter, they put Lifeblood out, everyone gains turn meter, and Rey gains mastery on top of that. And so she's just going to be stacking her offense, and it's going to be a race. It's going to be scary to see exactly what happens with Sith Eternal. And I don't know, like in 3v3, he's still, I think, okay. But
I haven't noticed anything in 3v3. I think it's 5v5. You got to be careful of him. That might be... It's kind of weird, but when you're going up against Rey, maybe it's just you don't want to bring a lot of Sith and just keep it pretty minimal. Just like bring in the Wat, bring in Sith Eternal. Maybe just stay away from Sith, because if you have 5 Sith on the field gaining turn meter, that's just gonna be some absurd amount of mastery increases for Rey. So it's kind of weird in that sense, where the buff might be hurting him with his full Sith lineups. But again, it's really one of those where Sith Eternal was never really a character to use with a full Sith team. Maybe nowadays with the change, we might use full Sith Empire, but against Rey, it could get a little nasty.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and I think that in like the other version, the other instance of him fighting a GL, which is Jedi Master Luke, he comes up with spades because he's going to be gaining all this turn meter for no penalty, and he can just take that team apart. I mean, he was already taking them apart, but now, there were certain counters using Jedi Master Luke that could beat Sith Eternal, and those are going to struggle a lot.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, but speaking of Jedi, I think the last one you got on the list is Jedi Master Luke, if I counted correctly.
I believe you did. So let's talk about
ice cream sandwich Luke.
The man with the sandwich. Yes, sir. Yeah, so he's been good. He's been untouched in terms of rules himself. His kit has remained the exact same. Nothing's different, and yet everything seems pretty different with him.
The update didn't really do him any favors. He didn't get anything, but yet his most important members on the team, Luke and General Anakin Skywalker, getting hit hard with those nerfs. Now, it's not to say he's useless. I'm still able to beat Master Kenobi lineups with Master Luke Skywalker as the same as before. I do Jedi Knight Revan, Yoda, Jolie, and Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker in the 5th slot. And so I'm able to still do what I did before, but who are we kidding? You can definitely see there's a damage difference when you bring in Luke and General Anakin Skywalker. in the mix here. And I think that's unfortunate. He's the one that I feel like he got hurt indirectly. All of his friends are so good that they had to nerf him to almost oblivion.
Yeah, it's really sad. And I know that people in Arena are struggling right now because General Skywalker, as we've talked about, I think he wants 501st now. I don't think he cares about Jedi Master Luke anymore.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's weird.
So,
Like I see some people, they don't want to use gas really that much with Jedi Master Kenobi at this point. Just his damage isn't. It's not really cutting it anymore. Even when you get the Jedi's will going and all that fun stuff, it's just you're not feeling the damage. So it's not to say Master Luke is unusable, but the premise of Master Luke is kind of the inverse of Sith Eternal, where Sith Eternal is more about himself. That's all he really needs. He doesn't care what Sith are with him. He's going to carry the battle himself. Master Luke is kind of the inverse. He's not a good solo character per se, and he's kind of a character that he kind of scales in viability based on the quality of Jedi you're bringing in. And now that ceiling that we had, which was usually what, Jedi Knight Luke, Jedi Knight Skywalker, Jedi Knight Revenant, insert whatever, that ceiling has mathematically dropped down a little bit. So that ceiling that Master Luke had, it feels like it's going to drop a little bit. So I don't think I think if anything, out of all these updates, he might be pulling up in terms of the getting hurt the hardest after this great nerf of 2021 update. He's not unusable, but I think just there's no other way to say it. Just mathematically, I think he's getting hurt the most.
I think so. I think they're chopping his other hand off.
There you go.
He's struggling, man. I know that a lot of people have said that in Arena, like they can't beat Kenobi teams.
It's definitely a lot more difficult. Yeah, I mean, for me, it all comes down to Jolie saving my butt every single time with the revives when I'm going up against Master Kenobi. But yeah, he's getting hurt the hardest. I think what really sucks too, and this is a broader conversation, Jareth, is that Master Kenobi and Lord Vader, they're getting buddies paired along with them. Maul and Commander Ahsoka. His buddy, I mean, in some weird way, was Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, and his buddy got hurt. So it's one of those where on the Pro, if they ever release more powerful Jedi, which they very well could, his viability will increase. But just after this update, he definitely got hurt, and he's going to be the one that the one GL that I feel like is going to be struggling one of the most out of all of them.
Yeah, I think so. I do like Ki-Adi-Mundi with him too. I liked him before, and Ki-Adi-Mundi's just a good in general Jedi. I mean, that's like you say, it's a kind of a broader topic, but you're right. I don't think Ki-Adi-Mundi is his buddy exactly. He's certainly not the same as like Cat is to Kenobi and stuff. Yeah, so there it is, folks. We totally just talked around the topic. We didn't rank anything, nothing like that. But it's a good discussion to have. Good to reevaluate the strengths of these characters so that we can actually have success in the game.
Yeah.
So we're gonna pull the plug soon. But Arnold, is there anything else, any wisdom you want to bestow on the masses today?
Oh man, there's a lot of wisdom I'd like to bestow upon everyone. I think really at the end of the day, we still need to navigate our way through this update. Some interesting stuff coming up. Jedi Knight Skywalker 5 first is a little bit hopeful. Take this, one of the most important things. I know we like to point out the flaws of Galactic Legends. Yes, characters like Master Luke are getting worse, but they're still a Galactic Legend at the end of the day, and still very important and still very powerful in the grand scheme of the game. So if you're someone that only has Master Luke and this news isn't really making your day brighter, let's just hold off. Maybe there might be some sunshine at the end of the tunnel, but at the end of the day, we're humans. We like to kind of rank things. This is better, this is worse. But if we do say Master Luke might be the worst, he's still a Galactic Legend, a top tier character nonetheless.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And I don't think the off meta is dead all the way. Anyway, so
not all the way. It's harder, but it's not. What's the phrase that Luke likes to say? I'm thinking of something. What is dead may never die. That's Game of Thrones. Yeah.
I don't
no one's
Luke
ever really gone.
That.
No one's ever really gone. Is the word I was looking for.
Yeah, or this will not end the way you think.
Yes, there we go. That's the hope. We'll have to wait and see. Some weird times in Galaxy of Heroes, but we're going to navigate our way through it.
All right, Arnold, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Anytime, my brother from another mother.
And guys, thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, the Empire prevails.
Oh my gosh, you're going to make me flattered here.
Super flattered.